Hey guys, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We just finished off that kind of ambush when we landed on Footfall, so now we're just clearing everything up before we move on. Let's talk to this guy for a sec. The tall, hunched tech priest stares at you unblinkingly. A breathing mask conceals his gaunt features. The skin on his hands is of a sickly grey hue, while his augments show signs of combat damage and are plated in black chromium, giving him a general air of lugubriousness. Initiating identification procedure. This unit is defined as Logos Opticon 22 and is a fully authorized representative structural part of the Cognizant Fleet and the priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Access has been granted to the following options: information exchange, strengthening of diplomatic links, trade deals, donations. Initiating official greeting procedure for esteemed high-value visitors. Glory, success to House von Valancius. A Benaric aria begins to flow from the scratch box attached to the tech priest's chest. Requesting information exchange regarding contractual obligation, Logistica Theta. Pascal and Opticon 22 exchange glances and a short series of Benaric signals before bowing their heads in satisfaction. Opticon 22's head bows noticeably lower than Pascal's. What is Logistica Theta? Under the contractual obligation in question, 34.761 Terran cycles ago, the explorator Cognizance Fleet received from representatives authorized units of the von Valancius dynasty a volume of high-grade promethium equal to the fuel capacity of 6 Tantalion void tankers. Received it and then didn't pay. Compensate, remunerate, settle account. Should I go on, or is that enough synonyms? The stipulated payment reciprocal offering from the Cognizance Fleet can be made to von Valancius assets at the current time, after which the contractual obligation will be fulfilled. Archive. Confirm your status regarding acceptance of the payment reciprocal offering. You waited 30 years to pay up. You are saying that my dynasty has had extensive business dealings with you. What payment can I expect? Yeah, let's go with that. Universal Mobile Orbital Deployment Extractiums Astra Arator processing complexes in the quantity stipulated in the contractual obligation. Each unit has undergone a cycle of maintenance liturgies and has been assessed for conformance to the sacred standard template construct. Great creations of the Omniscire, blessed be his beneficence, which has bestowed upon these complexes industrial might and a full cycle of reproduction and life support. You waited 30 years to pay up? Execution of payment reciprocal offering is in accordance with the specifications of the contractual obligation. Allocation of assets from the holdings of the Cognizance Fleet was initiated when the tankers reached the main squadron, 14.905 Terran cycles after the initial transaction. The asset allocation process concluded 2.663 Terran cycles later. Transportation of assets to the Furibunda system took 16.862 Terran cycles. Final delivery of assets to Footfall took 0.331 Terran cycles. Clever. If you had been purchasing fuel for a squadron at the other end of the Imperium, you may never have had to pay at all. We would have turned to dust before you made it there and back. You are saying that my dynasty has had extensive business dealings with you? This statement is true. The Cognizance Fleet concluded 1,292 contractual obligations with the von Valancius dynasty as represented, led, administered by the counterparty identified as Theodora von Valancius. The most substantial was Pact 8 Yule, in accordance with which Archmagos Cubus Delphum data usher of the sevenfold hallowed workshop of the sacred world of Euphrates II, was transferred to the planet Kiava Gamma to perform the duties of minister as its fabricator sensor. The services of such a highly enlightened, enhanced, authorized servant were recompensed by the offering of, paid for with, a 7-year contract granting the fleet's exploration vessels maintenance privileges at the Kiava Gamma facilities. That is true. In the last couple of decades, Lady Theodora took pains to form a strong relationship with the Cognizance fleet. She turned down a dozen candidates looking for the right tech monitor to watch over Kiava Gamma. Okay. Let's go with I can confirm I'm willing to accept the payment. The request is accepted. Sacred machines will be loaded into the hold of your vessel. Contractual obligation Logistica Theta is concluded. The Cognizance fleet thanks House von Valancius for its cooperation. Mobile extractium. Okay. I seek the friendship of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus is interested in, considers expeditious cooperation with rogue traders. Under the terms of the Treaty of Mars, it is willing to provide services to the von Valancius dynasty. The priority of service tasks can be raised if diplomatic links are strengthened. The Cognizance fleet will be glad. Alternative unavailable to accept. Any samples of sacred technology, samples of profane xenotech, miscellaneous items. Reminder, storage, study and or disposal of the aforementioned objects with the exception of 3 miscellaneous items is the preferential right of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The explorative fleet will also accept information about planets in the Coronis Expanse that have not yet previously been recorded in the planetary register. Why do you want information about planets? Omnifaceted study of the Coronis Expanse is the sacred mission / operational objective of the Cognizance fleet. Information about the planets and star systems of the Coronis Expanse must / will be compiled, studied, and transferred to the holy repositories of Mars upon completion of the Great March of Exploration mission. This process increases the totality of knowledge and decreases the totality of ignorance in the universe. Why are you interested in xenotech? Isn't that heresy? Cognizance fleet finds it reasonable to believe that forbidden knowledge in the hands of the laity causes destruction and violations that go against the omnisci's will. Weakness of mind and will unleashes xeno-heresy which consumes the laity whole. Illustrates the outlined pattern. Avoid station in the system of Langren's belt. According to the data available to the Cognizance fleet, the heretics on the station have trade relations with Xenos for the sake of obtaining dangerous and pernicious technology. The destruction of these heretics is of high priority, but not high enough to demand immediate action. I want to make a trade deal. Ooh. Show the data slate. I've collected planetary data that may... Okay. It's not available. Opticon 22 Explorators. Okay, so this is the same as the... This is still the Adeptus Mechanicus, but we obviously have some more gear. Okay, deflection gloves. These gloves allow the wearer to parry melee attacks with their ranged weapon using ballistic skill instead of weapon skill. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, whenever the wearer hits an enemy with a dead-eye shot, it reduces the enemy's deflection by 1 and applies +1 exploit until the end of combat. Stacks up to 3 times. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Precise las gun. Okay, portative Manipulator. Using reload for any weapon costs -1 AP less. Minimum of 0. That's pretty cool. Ratobi pattern plasma pistol. Okay, Chirurgeon's manual. This manual grants the owner plus 2 times toughness bonus to Medicaid. It also grants plus toughness bonus movement points after using a medikit. That's pretty cool. I don't think I want to upgrade them just yet because I won't be able to pick anything up anyway.
Executing request.
I think I'll enforce a light carapace. Okay. I think I'll wait till I can find some of the other trade partners, and then we'll see if we can get, or what we can get from them before we use up all of our cargo. Okay, how do we get to the stuff back here? Okay. Looks like there's a puzzle of some sort here. 1, 2 is not available, okay.
So shall it be.
Take this rubbish back to wherever you found it. Okay, I guess we're not going to be able to do anything
How can
here.
one find the right way without his light?
Internal report. I'm writing to inform you that 2 days ago the discharge was interrupted by a raid launched by the Amber's gang. In the attack, 3 loader servitors were put out of commission. Furthermore, 1 cargo container serial number was stolen along with its contents. Okay. Alright, well, since we have quite a few weapons actually, let's put this into cargo.
If such is the Emperor's will.
Say no more.
What a shame.
Activating motive force reserves.
Let's proceed. The future is never certain.
I'll guide your vessel and lead you on your way.
Carry the Emperor's will as your torch.
optimal route.
Okay, let's move on then. I think we got everything. Let's go to the atrium since we have some quests to do there. Wonder how big this planet of Footfall is going to be. And then I wonder when we're going to get into colony management. Because I quite enjoyed the kingdom management from Pathfinder Kingmaker. The Crusade management in Wrath was fine, but I personally like the kingdom management better. So I'm curious to see how colony management is in Rogue Trader, and if Alcat actually tried to do anything different. I know a lot of people hated the kingdom management and the Crusade stuff in the two Pathfinder games, so
I'll chart a course for you.
should be interesting to see if they made any changes to that particular mechanic for Rogue Trader.
It is my destiny to traverse the unknown.
Oh, Imperium. These columns appeared here back when the station was founded, when it was assumed that Footfall would become a wondrous palace in the stars. Okay. So just moving forward then. More goods, apparently. We need no rulers or rules or leaders. We are not an organization. We are a force of nature. Okay. Now is our time, not theirs. I think this is similar to the other leaflets, I guess. Well, we're named in this one, so that's interesting. I guess they're all Rogue Trader houses or something. More cargo. Nice.
The sooner we start.
Buzzing crowd has closed in on several harried-looking individuals. Some of their faces are smeared with fresh blood. The angry cries and twisted faces leave no doubt a massacre is about to take place. Just cut their throats already. What were they thinking letting that ship dock at Footfall? They're all stricken. No cutting. We get their blood on us, we'll be tainted too. Better burn them. Hieronymus Doloroso. Be quiet, you scoundrel. A priest clad in a simple black raiment cuts through the crowd like a void ship crossing the sky. You dare pass judgment on others? What arrogance to think you have the right. Argenta starts at the sight of the elderly priest. That's Reverend Hieronymus. I'm surprised he's decided to intervene in a street squabble. Let's intervene. What's going on here? Several dozen gazers bore into you. And who are you supposed to be? I'm an envoy of the Von Valancius dynasty. You come from Lady Theodora? Pardon me, noble sir. We were just rooting out heresy here. These scrawny ones, they're from the ship that came from the bowels of the Cronus Expanse. They've got plague there and mutants, and now they're spreading that rot everywhere, that taint. They're all... Silence, you must be completely out of your minds. A band of woefully dim-witted reprobates who think themselves bringers of justice. Who are you to pass judgment on anyone? All you ought to be doing is suffering and repenting till the end of your days. And what's so wrong about that, Reverend? We just want to put these heretics to death. We're not heretics, we're refugees, I swear it on the Golden Throne. We served the Imperium faithfully until they hung us out to dry. Where were the protectors that were meant to shield the lands of humanity from nightmares? Traitors and heretics, the lot of them. A murmur runs through the crowd. The people gawk at you, at the priest, at the wretched group huddling in the center. How tiring. The motley sea of colors that fills this restless crowd is hard on the eyes. So many hues, but most of them are acid yellow streaks of fear. Their red buds swelling, ready to burst and paint all who are gathered here. Cassia looks at the crowd of troublemakers wearily, and they shudder at the very sight of her. As for the hearts of those who have been forced to defend themselves, they are shrouded in purplish black grief, but their words are as transparent as the ice that lies at the top of a glacier. But commoners are always deaf to others' suffering, for such is their nature. Interfering in their affairs is hardly worthy of you or me, stooge. Those are serious accusations you're spouting. I hope you have proof to back them up. I represent the Von Valancius Masters of Kiava Gamma, and thus I have the right to decide what to do with these people. I command the onlookers to disperse. As for the rest of you, go to Dock Alpha Row and await further instructions. Okay, so we can go back to the dock. All onlookers are to return to their homes immediately. The refugees can go to Dock Alpha Row. I will speak to you later. Comply or face the consequences. People before you insult those instated by the throne. I've already told them we're envoys of the Von Valancius, so let's do 2. The rabble rouser looks at you morosely. I don't want to get in trouble over this lot. Okay. The refugees use the interruption to make off in the direction of Dock Alpha Road. Wonder if the Reverend is going to have words for us then. The arrogance and self-righteousness of a malefactor. The priest shakes his head disapprovingly. Then his eyes shift you. I'm Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso, head of the Drusian mission here on Footfall. I thank you for stepping in. Please come see me when you have the time. We can talk then. Okay. Hopefully that means we've kind of made friends with them. I think the Drusians are a trading faction that we can interact with. So, store selling old knickknacks for everyday needs. Okay. Hieronymus Doloroso. Wait, where's that? Okay, that's towards here. What does this thing do? The sight of this cogitator would be enough to break any tech priest's heart. The machine is leaning slightly to one side, grimy, covered in scrawled drawings, with frivolous writing scratched here and there on the casing. Several keys are missing and the rest are coated with dust. Pascal's respirator lets out a mournful hiss before he says grimly, "The right of operation has been repeatedly and blasphemously violated. Requesting the identification and punishment of the deplorable acolyte entrusted with caring for the spirit of this machine. Let's try and repair it." Success! After a series of creaks and groans, the cogitator's dusty screen lights up. On it are several lines of text, section headings. Praise the Omnissiah. The machine spirit of this cogitator is aggrieved but willing to serve. Accompanied by the crackling of a Banaric prayer, Pascal's mechadendrites gently place a couple of keys lying on the floor back into place. Okay, welcome. The screen flickers a few times before revealing to the world a text in low Gothic. In the name of the founder of Footfall Station, conqueror of stars, builder of outposts, the noblest rogue trader Parsimus Dwayne, and on behalf of all his descendants, I welcome you. This cogitator was installed on the order of the illustrious Parsimus so that the needy may tap into the flow of his wisdom. Cast your eyes upon the list of sections and choose what you wish to know. Parsimus Dwayne. I've never heard of such a rogue trader house. Whoever this Parsimus was, he sure thought big. Lord Captain Parsimus Dwayne, one of the trailblazers of the Coronis Expanse, and this station's founder. I've read about his great deeds. Lord Dwayne was once a colonel of the Astra Militarum, but by his will later inherited a warrant. He accumulated enough power to gather a small fleet of loyal allies and venture out to conquer the Coronis Expanse. They say Footfall was meant to be his personal palace world, but the construction dragged on for decades and Lord Parsimus eventually died of old age. His enemies instantly tore Footfall to pieces and turned it into the bastion of humanity we know today. One that is full of bandits, privateers, hustlers, and rogue traders. Pleased with herself, Cassia nods slightly to let everyone know that the lecture is over. Okay, about Footfall. Footfall Station has been envisioned by the great Parsimus Dwayne as a palace in the stars. As majestic as the spirit and mind of its creator, as of the year of this cogitator's installation, nearly a small fraction of the great Parsimus's designs has yet been made a reality, but already their audacity and grandeur are staggering. Footfall is to become the gateway to the savage and barely explored Coronis Expanse, a foothold for future conquest by the Imperium and the noble Parsimus Dwayne who acts by the Emperor's will. The cogitator wheezes and blinks, clearly trying to shut down. Okay, let's attempt an emergency repair. Succeeded. One of the first structures on Footfall was the colossal statue of the Emperor. A whole asteroid was used for the creation of this sculpture, but even its titanic proportions cannot convey the awe that every faithful servant of the Imperium feels before the Master. The statue is the center of Footfall in the same way that the Emperor is the center and heart of the Imperium. As construction progresses, new smaller asteroids are being attached to the statue, their surface serving as a foundation for glorious palaces and temples and their inner tunnels as home for the commoners and rabble. Okay, Parsimus Dwayne's design. Cogitator flickers and grunts before displaying a tapestry of text. The great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer the Coronis Expanse and build the most grandiose structure, which will shine through the ages, praising the name of its creator and his descendants. Footfall, the palace in the stars, the glory of the great Parsimus's deeds will live on throughout the ages and his grand designs. The cogitator hisses, grunts at it as it tries to clean its insides by spewing out dust and detritus through its cracks. The cogitator hisses for a while, then the screen flickers and once more shows the words, "The great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer." The spirit of this machine is enraged and will perform its function no more. I will see to it that the profaners responsible for its maintenance are marked for servo penance. Okay, got a bit of lore there then. Drusian preacher. Statue undoubtedly depicts Parsimus Dwayne, the legendary rogue trader who founded Footfall. Hey. Pretty cool statue. Goods. Another leaflet. Okay. Save it here. Let's try and go up to have a chat with Hieronymus. Let's check out the goods first. Okay. Save it. Man with a face so drawn appears to be made of nothing but skin and bone, fixes his unblinking bird-like eyes on you. The priest's simple black clothes have next to no adornments, and they do nothing to mask his unhealthy gauntness. In a cracked voice he says, "The Emperor protects." The Emperor protects, Reverend. But he protects only those who are pure of heart. Do you think yourself one of them? Be leery of this conviction of yours. Many who have risen to the pinnacle of faith have fallen from it into the embrace of pride most degenerate. And you must be the young von Valancius. That name carries weight, and it is a burdensome one, for its reputation suggests that Theodora encumbered it with many a transgression. I wonder, will you seek to shed them, or will you carry them onward, picking them along the way like ripe fruit and savouring their sweet poison? Let's do this one. There's a persuasion check, 90%. I put my faith in the Emperor. Persuasion test succeeded. Okay. Well then, be twice as diligent, for this sector will seize any chance to test your faith. Greetings, sister. I congratulate you on your return. Was your pilgrimage fruitful? It was. Reverend, let it be known to you that Theodora von Valancius' ship was attacked by servants of archenemy who appall the heart of any righteous soul, she says, nearly hissing with fury. And not all of them met a fitting end. Some fled, and more than that, their blasphemous words clearly pointed to this attack being part of a larger design. Reverend Hieronymus, I wish to join the esteemed rogue trader's crew and help protect the von Valancius dynasty from the forces of the archenemy. I'm divesting myself of the responsibility of guarding the Footfall reliquary. Sister Argenta stood by my side during the assault on the ship, and I could use her assistance going forward. Follow the call of your soul, sister. The Footfall reliquary will be preserved even without your contribution, as it was in all the years preceding your arrival. I know what it is that calls you to follow the rogue trader, Sister Argenta. You seek combat, for it helps you to forget how hollow and worthless our lives truly are. It offers the illusion of meaning. Perhaps you will relinquish this illusion one day, or perhaps you will die before that day comes. Regardless, I wish you luck on your new path. But before you start on a path toward your new destiny, I have a request to make of you and your companion. Many among my flock are from the poorest, most dispossessed people on Footfall. They've brought me troubling news from Footfall's shadow quarters. In the darkest corners where the Liege's wardens do not enter, taint has taken root. Footfall is consumed by profanity, but even here, true heresy, serving the archenemy, is a rarity. The cultists who now dwell in the shadow quarters mark their abodes with a sun inscribed in blue and gold, and perform strange rituals in secret. The weak find solace in believing these reports to be rumors, but I well know that evil lurks all around us, and I wish to see retribution. I come across heresy surprisingly often these days. Indeed, dark times are upon us, and wretched souls grow ever more eager to embrace heresy. Both on Footfall and elsewhere, its foul buds are coming into bloom. Troubling news is arriving from many planets. There are whispers of wicked things taking place on Kiava Gamma, and just recently a transport ship by the name of Navika, teeming with refugees, arrived on Footfall from Winterscale's realm. Their world was stricken with blasphemous sedition, and such was its severity that they had to flee to save themselves. Was that us, or was that another ship? The Liege refused to accept them, and so they headed for Foulstone, a desolate cloister of the righteous. It was wise of them not to linger in this den of vileness. I guess it wasn't us then, since we're here. Why don't you go to the Liege with this matter? I do not walk the paths pleasing to the Liege. Vladame is weak and riddled with worms on the inside. He seeks to please his Kazbalika masters, those peddlers of relics of the unholy Xenos. We will verify this rumor, Reverend Hieronymus. With great pleasure. Argenta puts her hand on the stock of a weapon. I almost wish for the rumor to be true. My heart yearns to battle some heretics. This is where I bid you goodbye, sister. Noble stooge, is there more you wish to ask me about? What are you doing on Footfall? What am I doing in this den of blasphemous pagans and the vilest of souls, you mean to say? Well, Footfall is the first and last stop in the Coronis Expanse. It is the point of arrival for those who have just started on their path, and it is also where those who are reaching its very end return. Their souls wounded and bleeding, I embrace both the former and the latter so that they may cast an honest eye over their impurity. Furthermore, rumors from across the entire sector amass in Footfall. If I hear crewmen whispering about a reclaimed shrine world, or expressing desire to carry the Emperor's light into the darkness among the stars, I help my flock in their sacred duty. Devoted trailblazers need assistance, both spiritual and material. Tools, equipment, even garments and simple everyday items, anything that might help pilgrims on their long journey and during the first days of the harsh frontier life is worth its weight in gold to us. May any help you offer to the effort of gathering such things be blessed. The path of true believers leads into darkness to search for worlds that have lost his radiance, steeped in depravity. Blessed are the deeds of those who give themselves into the void and the warp in hopes that their actions might bring light into the darker reaches of the expanse and deliver a previously barren world into the Imperium's service. And all the more bitter is the realization that not all brave souls will succeed in their mission. Footfall still awaits news from the Wasteland Wayfarer, an ancient ark of a ship headed for distant stars. Her last astropathic message was sent from beyond the Cinerus Maleficum, and the stars have kept their fate secret since. I bear another darker duty. The expanse is filled with the tainted creations of unholy heretics. These insidious objects are a danger to the soul, but I know what to do with them. Should you on your travels come upon dangerous corrupted object, bring them to me and the reward for your vigilance will be even more generous. The Drushan mission has much to share with the rogue trader. Okay, I have a question about faith. My sermon planted the seed of faith in the heart of another rogue trader once. Incendia Quarter. Perhaps you are destined to become my second fledgling. Tell me more about the Emperor. You think it is so easy to put into words his essence and splendor? The Emperor is the perfect deity that reads our hearts and grants us his light. He led humanity out of darkness and horror. He created our great home. He experienced torment and pain which only made him stronger. That is a lesson to us all. Purity is not to be found at the bottom of the dirtiest hive or in golden palaces, but only among the ranks of those who suffer. Argenta silently makes the sign of the Aquila, her bright eyes burning with unyielding flame. Okay? The two-headed eagle sigil that signifies the Imperium. Fair enough. Tell me about Incendia Quarter. Have you heard of Aspis Quarter, pirate, blasphemer, xenophile, and egregious apostate? Incendia is her heir and a rarity among rogue traders. The protection of the Holy Warrant typically leads to the swift atrophy of conscience and pious dread, but not in Incendia's case. She relentlessly hunts down pirates and firebrands and brings rebelling colonies to repentance, establishing strict discipline. The weight of her wrath is great indeed. The colonies she punishes are girded with orbital rings of heretic corpses as a warning to the survivors. As her personal confessor and guide, I find no end to the joy her triumphs in faith bring me. Interesting. Do I want to go with dogmatic or do I want to go with iconoclast? Since when is orchestrating massacres a sign of virtue? They aren't massacres. This is a war on apostasy and treason, and in this war, Incendia Quarter is inflicting grievous wounds upon the wicked. What is the proper way to worship the Emperor? Pray to him, destroy his enemies, and touch not their poisoned gifts. Cast aside all doubt and be vigilant against the weak souls beside you. When you see a sign of taint, burn it away without pity. Pain is good, it tears the crust of vileness from one's soul. And remember that if you see no fault in you or around you, then you are not being diligent enough in your search. Or you are being too lenient on yourself, averting your eyes from the truth. Interesting. in how zealous that they are. The Emperor's servants, who are they? You speak of the Adeptus Ministorum, the religious body of the Imperium, also known as the Ecclesiarchy, which venerates and promotes the worship of the Emperor of Mankind. Well, these heralds of his word hold great power. Every priest, myself included, is part of its hierarchy, and the Ecclesiarchy possesses the unique right to judge what is virtuous and what is malign. The Adeptus Ministorum prays and cares for the temples, sends missions such as my own to every corner of the dominion of humanity, fights against heresies. I imagine it is very advantageous for the Ecclesiarchy to pose as a congregation of saints. Forgive me for not buying any of it. And rightly so, the Ecclesiarchy harbours plenty of covetous and power-hungry recidivists. They've forgotten what it means to be a shepherd. They've grown soft and sluggish. For too long have their souls and bodies gone without suffering. Many would consider your remarks about the Ecclesiarchy to be heretical, and many others would find them truthful. I'm a preacher of a radical teaching that renounces fear. I've left the bounds of the blessed Imperium to carry his light into the darkness of the frontier. I've come to know depravity firsthand, and am now able to perceive it under any guise. I think I can afford myself a modicum of truth. Who is the enemy of the Imperium? It has three faces: the inhuman Xenos, who wish death upon us simply because they are unlike us; the pitiful subhuman mutants, abominations that wish death upon us because they envy us and are ashamed of themselves; and the archenemy that reigns in the immaterium, which wishes death upon us by its very nature. Dearest starts giggling at Hieronymus's words. He forgot to mention people like me. My whole life people have told me I'm filth on the face of humanity, its poison, its bane. She abruptly stops with a sob. Thanks for your explanations. Think nothing of it, young von Valancius. I'd like to take a look at what the followers of St. Drusus have to offer me. Let me see. Okay, the Drusian's Medkit Enforcer Helmet. All targets of Taunting Scream suffer a Strength plus Toughness bonus penalty to their willpower tests against this ability. Okay. Onslaught. Imperial Scroll. Scroll grants the owner a plus 15 bonus to Law Imperium. Bloodhound Staff. Devastating 6. Oh, what's... Okay, we just bought it, which is fine, I suppose. Devastating. The first use of an attacking navigator power per turn does not set the power on cooldown, and does not count toward the attack limit per turn. The second use of this power, or the use of a different attacking navigator power on the same turn, deals additional damage equal to the devastating parameter to all targets and the same amount of direct damage to the navigator. 10 power, 5 perception, okay. Let's take all this stuff. Militant's Cloak. Each heroic act used in battle increases the wearer's dodge by 20%, okay. No, that's the Mantle of Heroism. The wearer's first melee attack in combat can't be parried or dodged. Okay. Elite Chainsword. That sounds pretty strong. Sanctified Star. Cloak of Retribution. The wearer gains a plus 15% bonus to damage against enemies that dealt damage to the wearer of this round. Heavy Bolter. Strength 60. Okay. Camaraderie Badge. That's pretty cool. And it goes all the way to level 15. Okay. Heavy Flamer, Focus Melter Gun, Roaring Thunder. Okay, well I can't afford most of these, so for now I'll just move on. Okay. What else can we... There's some loot somewhere? Up here, okay. Let's go up here then. check out these goods. Sec. Another leaflet. Okay. Save it here. Block passage.
An expected result.
Okay.
This exploratory
Cargo.
is blessed
Alright.
with multifunctionality.
That's nice. Palmer voices quiet and a dozen gazes shift to you. A tall man with a shaved head is rubbing his hands together nervously. His opulent clothes are nearly bursting at the seams on his muscular body, and his expression is forbiddingly grim. Still, he's trying to put on an air of friendliness. Greetings, you must be Master Fidelio? All the guests have arrived. You're the last on the list, and we couldn't well start without you. Your presence is absolutely vital. Let's play along. Please, we can talk later. Chaplain is about to begin. What is this tomfoolery? Look around. The gathering you found yourself at seems refined and respectable at first glance. The decoration and the attendees' cloaks speak of wealth, and so does the location, which isn't far from the Liege's residence. But you notice that most of those gathered are of rather imposing physique. Many of them have scars and military-grade implants. Several of the guests look like they are covering the exit. A few are clearly carrying concealed weapons. Seems like an ambush. Your appearance has definitely attracted everyone's attention. Just about every guest here keeps glancing at you, and some are clearly watching your every move, even though they are not trying not to show it. I wonder who this Fidelio is and why they can't start proceedings until he or she appears. Judging by the way that fellow with the list was talking about him, it's someone very important, but it's not a name I've heard before. I have never heard the name before either. What is this place and what's going on here? I know nothing about the place, but I can feel that something's in the works here. I sense danger and opportunity. And the danger's a whole lot greater. I want to see what this is about. Oh, Clark. Oh, what a terrible, sorrowful day. We pay our respects to the life and soul of Footfall Society. A loyal servant of the Imperium, a generous benefactor who spared no expense to keep the fire of faith burning, and an example to all future generations. Most noble and unforgettable Master Bellardo, this loss. The fussy administratum clerk speaks in a strained voice and keeps peeking at a paper with text on it. His speech drags on and on, blending into a monotonous cascade of praises of the late Master Bellardo. So let us offer a prayer to the Emperor for the repose of Master Bellardo's soul and the prosperity of his heirs. I now pass you over to our most revered chaplain. Formidable looking man dressed in the attire of an ecclesiarchy missionary glares at the gathered crowd. And here you all are, you vultures. Let's offer a prayer then. But if you think that the Emperor or the messenger of his will, in other words myself, does not see into your vile souls, you are sorely mistaken. Chaplain looks at you and gives a slight nod. I wasn't referring to Master Fidelio. At least Dens himself wanted to see him at his funeral, but the rest? I know every one of you, and I would be astonished to discover anyone here who truly mourns this loss. So go ahead and pray for Bellardo's soul. Soon the flames will take him. A fitting end for a life like his. May the Emperor keep his soul. So that's kind of interesting. We just crashed a funeral and suppose there's someone that seemingly has at least cordial relations with this Master Bellardo. Quite interesting. Rumors. Hotbed of Xeno heresy. Navika. Okay. And then Footfall is waiting for news. Okay. Astray is Sister Argenta. Ah, okay. She wanted to talk to Reverend Hieronymus, which we did, and we got another quest out of it. On hunt for knowledge, study 10 planets. Okay, that's fine. Uncover Fidelio's identity. People definitely want Fidelio dead. Okay. Authorize the databank decryption on the personal cogitator. The bridge cogitator once belonged to Theodora von Valancius. Pascal is sure that it can be used to decrypt discovered databank. Okay. So we have to go back to the bridge at some point. What are we doing here? Chaplain, Hieronymus Doloroso. Let's check out the goods
Marching on.
for now. Okay, there's more goods here. Okay, well, looks a lot like a deliberately set trap meant to collapse a part of the building. Clearly.
Blessed be
Okay.
the road that we take.
Adelia. She's all the way behind there. Well, I think it's a she. Not sure exactly. Hello. Who are you and what are you doing here? I thought I was going to cry and I didn't want to see an eye. My name is Adelia Bellado. It's my grandpa in there in the box. Okay. The tears will pass, Adelia. The tears will pass, the strength will return, and your courage will never leave you. Adelia tries to smile, then just nods seriously. Where are your parents? My dad is Kaz Bellado. He's with the guests and my mum ran away. They told me she hates dad and grandpa. I guess she hates me too. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I don't even miss her anymore. I miss grandpa. He was the nicest. Have you ever heard the name Fidelio? It's someone my dad is very mad at, but dad is always mad at everyone. At grandpa, mum, Dagon, chaplain. I must take my leave. Okay. Interesting. We might... Okay, I think this is a good place to end the video. We've explored a bit of Footfall and we've learned a few things about this place that are quite interesting. And then we obviously just crashed a funeral and posed as someone that seems to be quite important, and now everyone is out to kill us because they think we are that guy. And I guess in the next episode we're going to talk to the chaplain, see what he says, and then go from there. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video as we continue to explore Footfall.